Philippines. So I'm still in the quarantine hotel, and while here I'm actually watching news Philippines na channel PTV, is it PTV na channel? And just like 30 minutes ago I saw that this news that the House Speaker Lord Velasco has actually suggested, and he's gonna do something to speak to PRC, or the Professional Regulation Commission, about deploying the underboard nursing graduates to start working alongside registered nurses and doctors here in the Philippines, just to be able to mitigate the lack of nurses in the hospitals at the moment here in the Philippines. So I want to give my opinion about it, because the same thing happened in the United Kingdom on the first wave. So what actually happened, it's sort of almost the same pala. It's not really the same, okay? What happened in the United Kingdom on the first wave, so we talk about April, May, June last year to 2020. During that time, there was such a very low, the staffing was really low, and every ward, every hospital has staggering sickness from the staff, not just the nurses, almost all bands, like from healthcare assistants, nurses, even the doctors. So many sickness. And that what the government did in the United Kingdom is that the nursing students who were given an option, and this is called the opt-in option, wherein they start to instead of just staying home, and because they cannot continue with the school was stopped that time, they were given the option to actually work in the hospital and continue their placement, or ang duty nila, continue their placement regardless of which year they were in, and they are going to be paid. So they were paid while they were doing their placement. So it's a win-win situation for them, I think, in my opinion, because not only are they going to complete their placement, which is a requirement for them to become a nurse. There's no board exam in the United Kingdom. They just need to complete their placements, or compared to the Philippines, it's called duty. So while they're doing that, they're also going to be paid, and paid as a band 4. So that's basically a very good opportunity for them. They're going to learn, and they're going to finish their degree in time, and also they are going to be paid. But the main risk there, which I can say, is that because that time we have no idea yet of how to manage coronavirus. I mean, we are like holding a candle in the dark, and anytime a wind will blow, and that we don't know. Again, we have to start from the very beginning. So during that time, they came and they gave us sort of a bump in our staffing. So what is good about it is because they can manage. If they are in the third year already, which is the final year, they can be treated as one of the nurses to man a bay, and they will just be supervised by the nurse in charge, or the senior nurses. So, or they can also work as a healthcare assistant at the same time, especially those students who are just on their first or second year. Correct me if I'm wrong if first years are included, but I think they are still. But yeah, that was something that the United Kingdom has done. And of course they can opt out. I mean, they can still wait when school comes back, and they can continue their placement. That was also an option for them. But there would be a delay then, because at that time schools were closed. So that was the option which was we were in advantage. The wards, we were really happy. I mean, I will speak to the ward that I manage. I was really happy that we were given this, we were given three students who were with us from, I think, May until July. So that was really good. Now here in the Philippines, what they are saying is the underboard means they've completed their nursing, 4 years of nursing, but they haven't taken the board exam yet. You need the board exam to be able to be called a registered nurse here in the Philippines. What this recommendation means is that they will be working alongside the nurses who are already registered and the doctors under their supervision, and possibly be paid. That wasn't stipulated in the news, so I hope they're going to be paid. It's not going to be just a voluntary work. That's gonna be difficult. I wouldn't know what these nurses would feel really, because one, you will be acting without PIN, or without PIN, or you are not going to be registered yet, and yet you are working in a hospital. What sort of, I'm interested to know what are the responsibilities that you will be given to, and what is your accountability, given that you don't have a license yet. So what are your limitations and the scope of your practice? So that's very interesting. And also, how will these fresh grads be received by the medical and the nursing community who are already stretched in the hospital? Please understand. So there will be times, you know, when you are already struggling to manage your patients, and you are still going to supervise somebody because you are the responsible person for that person. Any mistake that person will do, you will be accountable, since they don't have a license yet. So that is one thing to consider as well. If it's going to be me, there will be a different response from everybody. I think most people might find it difficult to deal with a certain number of patients and still to supervise someone else. That would make your task even more difficult, or it could be an opportunity for you to develop your leadership skills. It's good training as well. So let me know what you think about this, okay?